Hey you Stygian Dogs, it's September 27th and this marks the release of the much anticipated and truly fantastic issue number 3 of Conan the Barbarian from Titan Comics and Heroic Signatures. As usual, we'll take a look at the variant covers and then the issue itself, but first, this. I'd noticed it a few days ago and yeah, we're still smack in the middle of the first arc, but I don't mind having positive thoughts for the future. It is, of course, the pre-order for Conan the Barbarian Thrice Marked for Death, releasing June 4th, 2024 at a price of $17.99 US. This is, of course, the second story arc by Jim Zub and artist Doug Braithwaite. Now 27 and mourning the death of his beloved Belit, when Conan is approached by the Thieves Guild to act as muscle for a heist in Shadazar they're planning. Conan agrees, hoping that some mindless, wanton violence will drown the pain he's feeling. Despite the mission being a success, the gang inadvertently unleashes a trio of vengeful, dark, and deadly spirits who guarded the treasure. Now freed, the spirits proceed to possess each member of the group, leaving Conan as the last man standing and forced to find a way to stop them or suffer the same fate. It is a fight unlike any he has ever faced before, and one that will take him to a place of legend and myth. I'll add the pre-order link to the video description. So as you consider pre-ordering that, don't forget that Heroic Signatures has far more on the horizon, including yesterday's release of Conan, Lord of the Mount by Stephen Graham Jones. And please do check out my video on his truly wonderful essay, My Life with Conan the Barbarian. Now, let's take a look at the main variant covers as announced, and I'll let you know what I was able to pick up. And we start with cover A from Doug Braithwaite. Doug will be the artist on the next story arc. Cover B is from Patch Zerker, who will be writing and drawing a new Solomon Kane series for Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics. Cover C from Max von Fafner. And cover D is from Roberto De La Torre. I'm happy to report that this time around I was able to grab each of the variants. So redundant I know, the Braithwaite, the Zerker, the von Fafner, and the De La Torre. Not to mention, I was able to grab this, a copy of issue number 2 by Alan Qua. All said and done, a good haul. I'd mentioned in my early review that Fred Malmberg thought that this issue was slightly better than issue number 2, and while I wasn't quite ready to concede that point after multiple readings, I think I'm in full agreement. Let's have a look. And here we go. I'll flip through the book, perhaps present a few close-ups of panels. I'll try not to read too much verbatim, but I will outline the general plot and happenings. I want you to be curious and to grab your own copy. I want to give you a sense of how things look and hopefully to convey my excitement and a few summary thoughts. But be warned, if you want a pure reading experience, and I think you do, I would caution you about spoilers. If inclined, feel free to skip ahead to the conclusion. To comment on the book itself, the stock is of such high quality and the printing is so vibrant, it truly is a remarkable package. It really is worth grabbing a physical copy to fully enjoy the experience of reading it. On the inside cover, we see advertisement for the Funcom properties. Opposite that, credits for the teams at Heroic Signatures and Titan Comics. Again, introduction by way of the Numidian Chronicles and a map highlighting the path of our hero's journey. And the summary of events thus far. I suspect that these pages wouldn't be included as is in the trade paperback. We'll see come February. And we see the title, Bound in Black Stone, Part 3, The Fortress. We'll remember at the very end of the previous issue, Conan and Briss's journey leads to a spire of black stone shimmering with unholy power. As we would anticipate, Conan and Brissa enter the Ebon Citadel, wits sharp and weapons ready. At the bottom of the page, our creators. Writer, Grim Jim Zub. Artist, Ravaging Rob De La Torre. Color artist, Devious Dean White. Letters, Riotous Richard Starkings. Editor, Merciless Matt Murray. The tower's construction, as if conceived by one gone mad. Azure-tinged illumination defying the darkness, the duo tread forward. Hooded figures spotted, the warriors follow in silence, their quarry unlock a metal-banded door, Conan's keen hearing picking up voices echoing from a different hallway. Conan's kin encaged. At first thought to be an apparition, they realize it is Conan, son of Corin. The corralled Sumerians speak of the Pale Ones, who take away those who are closest to death for dark purposes. None are spared. Conan swears to slay every one of those baneful bastards. Footsteps are heard. And this is a wonderfully dark page. 2 hooded figures and a pair of deathless Picts cursed to service and slaughter. And Conan, for days Conan has kept his righteous anger in check, waiting till time and purpose were one. That time is now. That purpose is retribution. So good. Conan surges forth, his blade issuing a gout of cogent crimson, making his purpose clear. It's lines like these from Jim Zub that I love so much. Echoes of last issue's vision enter Conan's mind. He's temporarily shaken, overpowered. Melee ensues. Brissa is overrun. Her cry for help answered in league-high letters of blood. Again, a fantastic line from Zub. Conan's caged compatriots are emboldened, finishing their foes in brutal fashion. Finding a key to free the captives, Conan tasks Brissa with leading the old and infirm to safety. Conan offers the ancestral blade to Brissa. She declines, and in lover's embrace declares, "You'll give it to me when you return." I have a sense of foreboding at what this might foreshadow, returning the blade to her after shared victory, or the blade returned to her by some darker means. My mind is already constructing multiple scenarios and outcomes. Such a great use of these two small panels. Conan and a small group of steadfast Cimmerians vow to delve deep to find the source of evil and to purge it from their homeland. Via swift surprise and bloody blade, they acquire cloaks. Pungent strains of sulfur and unspeakable tongues greet their descent. A magnificent full-page illustration revealing a lake of shimmering liquid and a bleak rite of darkness, a forbidden ritual of ages untold. Conan and companions unable to do anything but watch as a skull-clad priest's voice reverberates through the chamber, the incantation climaxing with the name of Tulsa Doom, the adherents chanting "Doom, Doom" as a Cimmerian is sacrificed to the shimmering pool. And this, of course, is part of the grand reveal. Fans of Robert E. Howard will know that Tulsa Doom appears as a primary antagonist to Call of Atlantis and his companion Brule, the Spear Slayer. And as fleshed out by Jeffrey Shanks, Briss's lineage is traced to Brule. The immortal sorcerer also appears in several called comic titles, and again in Savage Sword of Conan issues 190 to 193. Not to mention what I would call a non-canon appearance in the Conan the Barbarian movie. Doom is also connected to another of Howard's creations, Cormac MacArt, in a telling expanded upon by author Andrew J. Offutt, with Tulsa Doom pitted as the nemesis to the Irish adventurer set in the time of King Arthur. There is depth to this character, and his inclusion and the connection expounded upon by Jeffrey Shanks lets us know that he, or at least his name, appears with purposeful intention. Exhausted and impeded by the Deathless, the deed is done. Brissa leads the Cimmerians to safety, but despite the physical and mental toll, it appears that she chooses to return to the Tower of Death. Meanwhile, Conan and company witness the stream of Cimmerians offered to the lake that is set to steal their souls, moving ever closer to their time to strike. Their presence is discovered. Desperate battle ensues, the priest issuing furious command, to which Conan responds that there is but one plan. "Slay them all," Conan cries, and thus the battle is joined. Crom's children versus cultists most cruel. These 2 pages are wonderful. The chaos of battle, the horde of cultists following the command of the priest in the background, gore and motion, stakes fully realized. A dozen foes felled, but not enough. Comrades fallen too. No choice but a lunatic's leap o'er the abyss, Conan's grasp matched by his need for bloody revenge. Brother Hodalin is lost. Disarmed by the priest, but only for the moment, as the Pictish pike is brought to bear, Conan and the priest tumble from the peak and into the wretched lake of souls. Roberto De La Torre's page gives us ethereal eeriness enhanced with iridescence from Dean White's fabulous colors. This final page, unlike the final pages in issues 1 and 2 that compelled us into further mystery, well, this causes us to consider Conan's very survival. We know that he will, but by what means, and what role will Brissa play? The priest that received the Pictish blade? Tulsa Doom himself? Or are the dark rites and Lake of Souls a ceremony of invocation or resurrection? And on the subject of the ancestral blade, what is foreshadowed? How will it be returned to Brissa? In triumph or tragedy? This wouldn't be the first time we've seen Jim Zub kill Conan's lover. Left to my own imagination, I'm able to conjure so many scenarios. Some ending well, others not so much. Might a ceremony of resurrection require a host? And who might that be? How might they be vanquished? All of this to be answered in the next and last issue of this story arc. I can't wait. Following an advertisement for the Omnibuy, we get another Jeffrey Shanks essay. this time focused on the concept of little people, dwarves, fairies, trolls, elves, and the like, and how Howard reimagined them. Rather than pudgy, jovial, hobbit-like little people, he imagined subhuman reptilian creatures who'd evolved more and more over time. And this is what we see Conan and companions battling in this issue. And then on the adjacent page, the Chainmail fan letters page. This being followed by the covers gallery. And on the back cover, an advertisement for Conan the Barbarian, the official story of the film, the wonderful coffee table book compiled by John Walsh. It's the official retrospective of the making of the 1982 classic film. The terribly grim setting, the human sacrifice, the revealing of evil most wretched, an absolute cliffhanger of an ending, mysteries answered, so many more to be explored. This issue is yet another triumph from the creative team. Truly, each issue better than the last, building to inevitable climax. I can't wait to see how the arc is resolved. So yes, I think Fred Malmberg is correct. I think this issue is a little bit better than issue number 2. And I can't believe that Conan the Barbarian from Titan Comics and Heroic Signatures continues to meet and even exceed the loftiest of expectations. Let me know your thoughts on issue number 3. I can't wait to see what the next issue has in store for us, but it's not without some apprehension. A truly fine story arc and relaunch, now hinging on issue number 4. Crom cares not, but I do. By Mitra, I think we're going to see greatness. Until next time, take it easy, you Stygian Dogs.